Hello family and friends, it's Rob the Sapper gardener representing Essayons Family Garden, and I'm going to do a quick walk and talk around the garden, let you know a couple of things that we've updated on our greenhouse and show you a couple of things in the garden, and at the end I'll show you a few things that Mrs. SG has harvested while I've been downstairs working. She's the harvester, I'm the sower, she's a harvester. So one of my wife's favorite vegetables, not mine, but one that's supposed to be very, very good for you health-wise, is the bittermelon or bitter gourd. And we've got a few different varieties that we're growing out here. We've got some white ones here, and we've got some green ones over in a different section of the garden. And we're hopeful these all do well. She's harvested a bunch already this year, so we know they're doing okay. At least the green ones. We haven't gotten as many of the white ones yet, but hopefully we will as this continue to grow. We still got a little more time in the warm months, so we think we'll get more. And the chickens are almost at that age now where we need to start checking for eggs each day. Probably still a couple of weeks ago, but yep, they're doing nice, they're healthy, and they're safe in there. And one thing that we probably will not try growing again, we've tried growing these from seed, we've tried growing them from starts, and they just don't do well in our garden, is the Mexican sour gherkins or the cucamelons. And this one is giving up the ghost. And we've grown them before when they did grow up the trellis and seemed like they were going to do well, and then we only got a few fruit from them. So this is probably one we won't grow in our garden again in the future. They tasted fine, they're small, but yeah, it's not worth the effort for us to try growing these again. And one thing that we are definitely not going to stop growing and trying to do better in is our Moringa plants. We've got them scattered throughout the garden, and these will keep growing until it starts to cool down. We have never been successful in getting drumsticks or seed pods on ours, but we get plenty of leaves that we can harvest and use in our soups and stir fries and whatnot. So we'll keep doing those. Of course, along with the peppers, we'll be harvesting some of these, and we may can these or we may use them for something else, but yeah, peppers and moringa will always be in our garden. And I mentioned the green bittermelon. We've got it in several different places, but this is one. And Mrs. SG has harvested off these, but there's still more hiding back in there. And we'll be harvesting more as the season goes on. So, a little windy out here, but I just wanted to show we added to our greenhouse. We doubled our input, so we had 4 25-watt Thunderbolt solar panels. Yeah, I'm sure you guys can't hear me over this wind, but we'll see. And we have to thank our friend Lead Farmer 73. He told us, and he has said it time and time again on his channel, technology changes all the time. So something you get 1 year, and those panels are approximately 3 years old, give it a couple of years, they'll have something better, so that you have to go out and buy something else. This is the same wattage as those 400 watts, but it's in one panel, which is probably half the size. So we doubled our input, so now we can collect 200 watts, feed it into our greenhouse, and we also doubled our storage. We had one 12-volt battery, now we have two 12-volt batteries. So our storage is doubled and our input is doubled, and we actually put a larger inverter. So depending on how this does, and we're not as worried now in the warm months. We know our fan is enough to keep the greenhouse cool at 90 degrees. But the true test will come in the wintertime when we have to see if those two batteries will be enough storage along with the solar panels to keep the greenhouse warm. And if it doesn't, we've got two. We have room on the other side to add more. That's a 1100 watt inverter. So we know it'll handle it. We might have to upgrade our charge controller below the batteries, but we'll play that by ear and see how it does. If we see that it's not enough, then we'll adapt the system and see if we can get it going. And I'm not an expert on solar by any means. There are lots more channels out there that you can go to, Hobotech, Ask Ives, lots of channels out there who know more about solar than I do, which is not hard to do since I know just the very, very basics about it. But let's see here for a second. Now I can't see, but I don't need to see. Alright, now I think you guys can see me. Yeah, technology changes all the time, so I would say if you want to know about solar, go out there. Our friend Les Farmer 73, he knows a lot more about it than we do. We just have not gotten into the solar game as early enough. Yeah, I want to say another channel, DIY Solar and Off Grid. I'll find his channel, I'll put a link to it too. But yeah, Hobotech, Ask Ives, lots of other channels out there that know more than we do about solar. We're kind of building a eclectic system, I guess is one way to say it, because we're just adding parts as we go along. Ideally, we probably would have wanted to buy a large system with everything instead of adding to it piecemeal, but you know, we're still learning. Later on down the line, we may buy a full upgraded system for our greenhouse, but right now that's working, and hopefully it works in the wintertime. So Mrs. SG is in there finishing off dinner. I'm going to go in there, sit down, eat. I just want to do a quick update with everybody, and we'll put some of the harvest that we've taken this week. Yeah, we've been harvesting left and right, but not huge harvest at one time. It's always a little here, little there, and yeah, we'll share that. So I'm going to get out of this sun blinding me. As always, this is Rob, the Sapper Gardener, representing Essayons Family Garden, saying God bless our great country America, and God bless you wherever you reside around the world. Take care. Sapper out.